Hello everyone and welcome back to our little Chia experiment on our witness channel. Yeah, we are just watching the coin price go below the $400 mark for the first time. It's a bit disappointing but not unexpected. I don't think, or I am under the impression, as it is Sunday today, the trade is not very high now, the volume is pretty low. So it might bounce back to 400 if they want to have it back to 400. But that doesn't look well for the next week. So we will probably see a 200 by the end of the week. Nothing new from the about the farming, nothing I have heard today. The Mad Max plotter is working pretty well. We had the whole day today, and it is roughly about an hour for the plot on a two core 24 thread HP 360 with 138 gigabyte of RAM. So we plotted the temp 2 in a RAM disk and the temp 1 on an SSD. Problem with the HP controllers is that you have to actually format the the SSD because there's no it doesn't recognize the SSD as an SSD, so there's no way to trim it. But apart from that, it works. But the problem is that it is very energy consuming, because if you plot 24/7 on an HP 360 which has 700 watts, and you plot on a RAM disk and the CPU's on full throttle, that costs a lot of energy, makes a lot of noise, and yeah, that's why we decided we are not going to do that. We're not going to print 24/7 to make a few pounds extra. That is just not worth it, and it was not meant to be a 24/7 job anyway. It was a bit of a hobby, and if it would have been a zero sum game, then it would have been nice. But now it looks like a 24/7 job with no benefits at all. There's no chance in keeping up with the network growth. If you have a look at the latest numbers, that's 1.1 exabyte today, and we have already seen much more, so there is some fluctuation at the moment. And that means you have to plot about 50-60 plots just to keep up a day with just to keep up with the network growth and with the new plotters. It will grow even faster than it used to, so no way. We will keep up, so we will do a few plots from time to time, just to have it ready when it all comes down, and then it might be worth it to do it on a lower scale with a lower network growth, and if the price is reasonably low so that people will not plot 24/7, then the network growth will be much slower. Oh, I'm really impressed by how fast it is falling. I didn't expect it to fall that fast on a Sunday. There must be something going on. I don't know what, but that is very. What is the wider market Bitcoin? Well, it's 1.33%. That's not that bad. It's about $1,000 less than yesterday. No, it's $1,000 less than yesterday. It's not even. I mean, Chia is down 5%. 5.8, and Bitcoin is down 4.7. So Chia has hit a little bit harder. Okay, so yeah, Mad Max is running good, as I said, and there are a few bugs, but nothing really serious. It is running, it is working, but as I said, the downside is that it is using much more electricity than before because it is running full throttle on all cores and all threads, and that is noisy. and, and that is was never the intention. As I said, I didn't want to have a 24/7 job to provide the net space for an IPO. That is not what I intend to do. And the whole calculation with being energy friendly is omitting the plotting part anyway, because the storage might be very energy friendly, but if you take the plotting into account, I don't see much difference between a graphics card rig and a full spec server plotting Chia plots, and Threadripper. AMD Threadripper is not known for not consuming energy as well. So I don't think this whole equation is working. And then there is the other point, which is also very concerning. That is the. Nope, that's not the one. Yeah, that's a nice example which I found today. That's the cheapest I could find on cloud storage for 500 terabyte. For 12 months, they would charge you 24,000 and no extra cost for up and downloading. So that's the cheapest I could find. And that wouldn't even cover half, or not even a third of the costs. So we couldn't even cover a third of the cost. So that is a market value which the Chia company would have to pay to increase their net space if they would pay third parties for running the nodes and storing the plots. So that is what I meant with self-exploitation. You're basically providing a service for the company and you're paying for your own tools, your own electricity, just in the hope of a reward, which is, if I'm informed correctly, is about $6 a day at the moment for 80 terabyte at H-Pool. And as far as I know, they are charging not very much, so I don't expect it to be much more in another pool. So that is a huge difference to the 24,000 for 500 terabyte, which it would be roughly $10,000 estimated in income from the Chia calculator, and that was when the price was still far above 400. So the other point which also concerns me very much is this is an article here from the New Scientist, and it uh, mentions the disruption in the hard disk market, and the overall production in hard disk is about 70 exabyte per month. So Chia is at 22 in 5 weeks or 6 weeks now. So that is uh, basically that is 20% of the monthly production on hard disk has gone into this project alone. And it's not that hard disk where uh, an article which was binned because they couldn't sell them. So there is an actual market for them. And this project obviously has disrupted this market. And it's not only us who have to pay the price, the people who plot, it is also everybody who is in need of hard disk and who has no connections to the Chia project at all. So it's hospitals, it's schools, it's old people's homes, it's everybody who works in an office and who runs a small company. And they all have to pay for the privilege of some people uh, inventing a blockchain which includes storing 100 gigabyte of data on hard disks. I think whoever thought this project didn't think it through. This thing has brought a huge disruption not only into the its own followers but into the whole world. This is a price almost everybody has to pay. I mean, graphics card is a nuisance, but the chief graphic card still exists. But this also is impacting the lower end hard disks. I've been on eBay today, and I bought 10 terabyte a few, 3 months ago. I bought 10 terabyte for our office, and I paid 170 pounds. So that is roughly $200. And the same hard disk today it's an SAS disk. The same hard disk today is the cheapest price I could find is $420. And that is just ridiculous. I mean, no, 420 pounds it was. 420 pounds was the cheapest I could find. Because the American ones are a bit of a problem here because it's 50 pounds transport, so that is not working. But I know they are a bit cheaper in America, but here in England it's 400 pounds for 10 terabyte SAS, and that is 40 pounds per terabyte. That is a bit steep, but if you look at the share prices, so Western Digital has gone up from 52 to 73, and Seagate is up from 60 to 94. So they are making a killing, and that's why I don't think Hoffman says he is surprised at the speed at which the hard disk capacity devoted to Chia has grown, and admits that this is likely to cause disruptions to the supply chain for some times. Oh yeah, no, it is already causing disruptions, and of course it will stay on because the supply is dried up. In the long term, he thinks, in the long term, I think everybody will be dead. So that is what Keynes said about people who say in the long term. In the long term is a very bad argument. In the long term, we are all dead. In the long term, he thinks he increased demand by the increased demand being driven by Chia will lower the cost of hard disk as manufacturers ramp up productions. It could also be that they found a new price level and that it will never come back down to the point where it was before because people got used to paying higher prices for hard disks and there's no reason for them to go below it. And they are not in the mood of ramping up production. Why would they? If their margins are better and people are still buying hard disks, they will do everything but not increasing their production. They will just ride the wave, as everybody would in their situation. If Hoffman says if all hard disks sold in a year, it would still be less electricity, yeah, but it's only for storing. What about the plotting process? And why did you never think about what happens to the rest of the world if everybody uses hard disks for Chia? I mean, there are hospitals, schools, there are all people's homes. I get really angry. That is, yeah, that reminds me of somebody I know very much, always only thinking about what happened to them. There is a wider world around you, and this world has nothing to do with Chia. It is not benefiting in any way from Chia, and they all have to pay the price for it. That really makes me angry. Good. Okay. Yeah. Sorry to the devoted Chia followers, and I think there is merit in the project, but obviously there are flaws in this project as well, and those flaws need to be addressed. Yeah, the Mad Max plotter uh, runs very, very well, and there are a few bugs, but we didn't experience anything uh, too serious. The plotting times are very good. It's roughly about 1 hour 30 minutes or so for a complete plot on a RAM disk and an SSD on a 24 thread machine with 130 gigabyte of RAM. 138, and we used 112 for the hard disk. And we had the buckets 264, I guess, and it used 7 gigabyte of RAM for the plotting process. So there was still enough left. There was never any problem, and we didn't experience any bug apart from the machine being extremely loud because it's running on full throttle, and that yeah drives up the electricity consumption as well. So we will stay on the project. We will print from time to time just to stay in and wait for the netspace to come down. And with the price falling, I mean, I did not expect it to fall that hard. Wow, that is steep. I didn't expect it to fall that fast on a Sunday. That is, I mean, that was about 6% in 15 minutes or so now. That is a lot. So yeah, so we might see a 200 by Friday next week, and we also might see the 30 petabyte, 30 exabyte. Sorry, I'm confused now. The 30 exabyte by next Friday, so that will be a point where things might turn into the right direction. Yeah, but anyway, I don't think it will stay below 400 for today, because on a Sunday they should be able to ramp it up to 400 again. But we obviously the trend is in the downwards direction, and that means your daily reward for 100 terabyte in a pool will be around about the $6-7 mark. So that will roughly cover your electricity costs. So that's why I said it doesn't matter anymore if we have pools or not. The pools don't make any difference anymore because it's too late. The net space has grown too much to make any difference anymore. I'm sorry about that. I know that there are a lot of people there that spent a lot of time and had a lot of high hopes into the project, but I think that thing was badly planned, badly executed, and not thought through. And don't forget all those people who suffer with higher hard disk prices now, who had never anything to do with the Chia project, and also have to pay the price for this badly executed example of uh, yeah hubris. I can't call it anything else. Somebody had an idea and somebody thought he had a good idea, but it turned out to be a very, very bad one. Okay, thank you very much for listening. I hope you still like and subscribe, even though I'm pretty angry today. I'm sorry, but I really, it was like a wake up moment when when our plotter started going full throttle, and I thought that is green and that is energy savvy. No, it is not. The storage is only half the truth. It's also the plotting process, and that is pretty energy consuming. And it's not done on a Raspberry Pi, because you need to churn out 48 plots a day just to keep up with the network space growth. So, nope, that is not what it should be. Have a wonderful Sunday. Nope, that is not what I wanted. Here, have a wonderful Sunday. Enjoy your day, and uh, well, please like and subscribe, and I will be back again. Thank you very much.